This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Do you take this woman as your lawful wedded wife?
Ooh, yeah! Oh,
Place the ring on her finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
Hello and welcome to With This Ring, number 19. I'm your co-host Ryan Everett.
I'm your co-host Cindy Everett. And
today we will be changing course a little bit after I looked at it a little bit earlier. 65 matches.
We have.
WCW.
Oh my gosh.
To pare down the greatest WCW matches ever. We're switching a little to the greatest WCW Wrestler ever poll. And we'll be looking at the career of Dusty Rhodes.
So is there certain wrestlers that are like in the running, or is it really just anybody?
I mean, it could be anyone.
I know there's obviously going to be a lot of common people.
Right, yeah.
There's no any dark horses, you think?
Not really for
greatest wrestler.
Yeah, to make it, not really. Well, to make it, I mean, plenty of people will, but not, I think, when you get to the tippy top.
That's true. The top 1%.
Yeah. So the system for it it's called the NJPW.
Okay.
So N is for nuance, and it's like longevity, flexibility, and intangibles. So like if you're able to face and heel.
The je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then J is the jump up factor for memorable peak matches, moments, and storylines.
Okay.
P is promo skills and character work.
Okay, well, Dusty's very excels in P.
Yes. And then W is work rate. So the actual, in a match.
Like their Western ability?
Yeah.
So Dusty's very low?
Yes, this would be where Dusty is nicked a little bit, I would say.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I figured we could go through the matches, the promos, and then maybe just give your feelings about what you would score in each.
Well, what's it out of?
Out of 10.
Oh, okay, so there is like a set criteria.
Yeah, well, okay. Kind of.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so is 10 the highest? Or
10's the highest, yes.
Okay, well, sometimes one.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you want police.
Sometimes you want one. Yeah. Either golf scoring or... Okay, the top match is number 1, not number 100.
That's true, yeah.
So there you go.
That's true, yeah.
So, okay.
So, let me see where... So we started with Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes from STARRCADE, 1985.
No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years. They give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time.
And this was, before we even started the match, we looked at the build-up, which is Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Ole Anderson breaking Dusty's foot in the... his leg in the cage.
Right, because it was Ric Flair versus Nikita Koloff in the cage, and then Dusty Rhodes came out to Ric Flair. It was kind of confusing what was happening.
So, because, at this point, Ric Flair was this was when he was touring still, so he'd go to every promotion and defend the world title.
Gotcha.
And then, so he was in Jim Crockett Promotions, his home promotion. So he was a face there because he was facing Nikita Koloff.
Right. Obviously, the Russian's going to be the heel.
Right. So he was kind of a face here in this match. It was kind of depending on who he was wrestling, he would determine face or heel. So
Okay.
here he's a face, but then after the match, the Russians attacked him. So then Dusty Rhodes came out to save him.
Obviously.
Because they're not friends, but Dusty's an American.
Obviously.
So then after Dusty clears the ring, Arn and Ole Anderson, who in storyline at the time were Ric Flair's cousins.
Why not?
Sure. And they're
all from Minnesota, right?
Well, Ric Flair's actually from Minnesota. Arn Anderson is not from Minnesota, but billed as Minnesota.
Oh, where's he from?
Georgia.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of confusing. Because then Ric Flair stopped being from Minnesota and was from Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, so they break Dusty's leg. And then Dusty
quote unquote break his
And then Dusty talks about how they put hard times on him.
Yes. That was a very good promo.
Yes. That really breaks it down, that what he's going to do to Ric Flair. Mm-hmm. And then we get to the match itself.
Yeah, the crowd was loving it.
Yes.
Like they're a good point and counterpoint, those two.
Yeah.
So it's very different style and personality and just everything, and the crowd was eating it up.
Yes, definitely. So the match goes back and forth for, it's not that long of a match. I would say probably 15 minutes. Let's see.
See, I consider that a long match.
Yeah. For Ric Flair title defenses, though, it's definitely towards the lower
Yeah, that's true.
end.
Gotta cut the stat airtime.
Yeah, Stark.
What GeoCity's website are you on right now? Trying to
It's
look
the
this
history
up.
of wrestling.
Is this your website?
No, it's not my website. Here we go. So it is 22:06. Okay, so that's
that's pretty long.
Yeah. So this was the main event of STARRCADE, the main event overall and the main event of the Atlanta portion. So
okay.
Had a lot going on it. And Dusty Rhodes wins.
He does.
But, well, so give your thoughts first.
I don't know. All I wrote was that Ric Flair got really bloody.
Yes.
And then the ref kind of got knocked out of the ring.
Yes.
And then so who declared Dusty the winner? I don't remember.
The second ref.
That's right. Yeah, they
brought the pin.
That's right. They used the second ref.
And then the next week, they reversed the decision.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part.
They had the interview with Tommy Young, the referee, who says that... Because he was thrown out of the ring originally, by accident. And then he's getting up, and he sees Arn Anderson in the ring. So he goes to call for a DQ, and then Arn Anderson falls on him. So the ring announcer doesn't see him, call for the bell. Then the match continues, and Dusty wins. But then they decide to declare Dusty the winner by DQ, since it's the original referee's decision.
Gotcha.
And that was called before.
Why do they feel the need to do that?
Well, I think it was they wanted to send the fans home happy.
Right, obviously.
But they felt Ric Flair would be better as champion.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
it's true.
It's been and it's been done before, and by this point though, it was kind of starting to turn fans off.
Yeah.
Because then okay, so the next month they come to Atlanta, they're doing Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes again. Well, why do I care? Because
whatever happens,
it's going to change it all. And then they actually did in '86 do a title change, and that was in Atlanta, and Dusty Rhodes actually won.
Okay.
But then he lost the title 2 weeks later back to Ric Flair. So at least they had...
They give a grace period.
Yeah, he had a little time with it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and this is what became to be known as... Because this wasn't the first time it had been done, and he wasn't the first guy to do it so much, but they called it the Dusty Finish.
Oh, okay.
Just because as a booker, he booked it a lot. To the point where it started hurting the business, because he would never take a loss. He'd always win, but then never actually win.
Win, asterisk. Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
And then our next match was from July 13th on WCW Pro. And this
Is that one of the shows?
Yes.
Sounds like a network, like a streaming service now.
Yeah, really.
Oh, wouldn't you love to have it?
The pro level. You don't want just WCW. You want the pro level,
Wouldn't
which is
you
$5 a
love
month.
to have a WCW only streaming service?
Well, Peacock got their shit together.
I know.
There's plenty of stuff they could just put on.
Well, you should
it's all digitized already.
Write them a letter. They got to put it on a server somewhere, right?
Yeah, I mean they're all.
Why don't you do like a Silicon Valley premise where everyone's servers are decentralized? We'd all feed off each other's wrestling.
Yep. I got the hard drive to.
All right, let's not advertise that fast. But anyways, yeah, Tully Blanchard versus Dusty Rhodes, and this is definitely where I noticed Dusty is like not a technical wrestler. I mean, he basically has the elbow. He struts around,
yes,
and he has his elbow
and points and dances.
Right.
But so this is for the television title and $100,000.
Oh yeah.
And he's got Dusty Rhodes has Magnum TA in his corner. Mm-hmm. This was Magnum's like first big appearance.
Oh, okay.
Like at ringside since his car accident.
Oh yeah.
Where they were kind of still thinking that he'd eventually be able to wrestle again. But so what did you think of the match overall?
Sorry, I didn't take very good notes this month. I just said that there was a lot of cheating from Tully and his crowd.
JJ Dillon.
Yeah. And that Dusty Rhodes wins, and the crowd, of course, goes wild.
Yeah.
So that was the fan favorite.
Oh, yeah. So Dusty wins, apparently.
Seemingly.
Then again.
Oh, it was another Dusty finish?
Yeah, so Tully had his foot on the rope.
That's right.
And while the ref's trying to explain this, JJ Dillon comes and rips the bag of money from Magnum TA.
Oh, that's...
So Dusty chases after him. And while Dusty was chasing after him, the match was restarted.
Obviously. Yes.
And Dusty loses by countout because he's in the parking lot
chasing the car. Yeah.
So then Dusty comes back and is yelling about it in the dressing room, but it's to no avail.
Yeah, I think Dusty Rhodes seems like he's one of those guys who's just like down for anything.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to turn down a lot of angles.
Right. As well, especially when he's setting everything up also.
That's true. He's kind of like playing both sides of the table, isn't he?
Yes. All right. Then we kind of
move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really, 87 and 88, Dusty Rhodes is kind of weird because he's like in the position where he's at, but it's obvious the fans want like younger guys kind of elevated. So he kind of does that, but not all the way. So it's kind of hurts where like at some point he probably should have turned heel or tried something different. And then it kind of became like a political power play between him and Ric Flair. Because Ric Flair wanted his own things going on backstage. And this was when Jim Crockett Promotions was like bankrupt and looking to sell. They wanted to sell to Ted Turner, and Ted Turner's like one stipulation was that Ric Flair was included in the deal, so it was bye-bye Dusty. So Dusty was fired.
Okay.
Well, quit. He was fired as booker and then kind of quit as a wrestler.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be there if he wasn't going to be booking it. And then goes to WWF for 2 years, where he's always in the polka dots.
Gotcha. Okay, that's his WWF outfit.
Yes. So then...
Wait, can you talk about his backstory a little bit?
Sure.
Like, what he was doing pre-85, or how did he get this role?
So
give me a short version.
Yeah, so he started in like the late 60s, and started in Texas, but then like became big in the AWA up in Minnesota.
Actually, as a wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with Dick Murdoch.
Because
as a tag team.
No offense, but like he doesn't have like a lot of like talent. Like, what did he?
Well, I mean, he was, for one thing, like
wrestling talent.
The earliest match we saw, he was 40 years old.
Okay.
So this was 15 years earlier.
Fair enough.
15 years earlier, so he could move a lot better then.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then he goes to, so he's just a tag team guy there. Then he goes to Florida, and that's where he becomes like the American Dream, like the common man, the guy
working man. Yeah.
And then he actually did a little run for the WWF in the late 70s, where I mean, he was big, like, selling out Madison Square Garden, like, 4 matches in a row. And supposedly, Vince McMahon Sr. wanted to make him champ, but he had already promised Bob Backlund that he would be champ. Like, he planned out the title reigns, like, a year in advance.
Oh, jeez.
Like, he gave...
A lot can change in a year.
Like, Billy Graham beat Bruno Sammartino, and he told him, like, after he won, like, okay, you're going to hold the title for 1 year, and you're losing it to Bob Backlund in June of 1978.
Wow.
So, it was very planned, and, like, yeah, if he wasn't so rigid, Dusty Rhodes came in and was such a big star, but didn't do it. So then he kind of went back to Florida, and then Crockett Promotions kind of, when they all started kind of working together, he kind of migrated up to there.
Gotcha.
And then, so his main character for most of his time was like just the common man who was like bigger than life.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because I guess that obviously was just familiar with the end of his career.
Right.
So,
and then, like,
in my mind, he's always been like fat and 45. And
right. And then in WWF, it was the same thing, but to like their more cartoony level, where like he came in as like delivering pizza and being a plumber and driving a garbage truck.
Okay, all right, we get it.
Yes,
we get it.
So
we gotta dumb it down.
Yes. Well, you gotta make it kid friendly.
That's true. A lot of different professions.
Yep. So then in 91, he kind of he retires for the most part and leaves WWF and comes back to WCW as the booker. And it was kind of like decided like you can come back and be booker, but you're not wrestling. Like, they didn't want that whole power play to start again. So he was a booker for either the main booker or like part of the booking team for most of the 90s in WCW. But then in 1994, he did get a little involved in the ring, which...
Oh, yeah. That's what we watched.
Yep.
Let's see. Pull up my notes. So this was... Oh, yeah. Dusty and his son versus Terry Funk and Bunkhouse Buck. Which,
yes. You're not a fan of the name?
No. It's hard to say. It's stupid. He was not a great character. This is when the powerful boot... The magical boot hits.
Yes. So this whole thing was like... So Dustin Rhodes was feuding with Bunkhouse Buck. And then Terry Funk came back.
Yeah, Funk and Buck, it's just too easy to mess up. Yeah.
Too easy to get into that TV MA.
Right. That Degeneration X era.
Yes. That's why you always want to say you're in the playoff chase, not the playoff hunt. So, so they, and also like throughout the 80s and in Florida, especially whenever they crossed paths, Dusty Rhodes and Terry Funk were big time rivals.
Gotcha.
So it was never really in WCW, but it was just one of those things that like everyone knew of.
Okay.
So Dustin Rhodes is feuding with Bunkhouse Buck. And then Terry Funk shows up and starts going after Dustin Rhodes also.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So then Dustin Rhodes is trying to think of who he can find to be a partner against him, and he goes after Arn Anderson.
Oh, that's right.
Arn Anderson, and Arn Anderson tells him, like, I'm not going to be a nice guy about it, I might stab you in the back. Mm-hmm. They have the tag match. Arn Anderson tags in. The very first thing he does is DDT Dustin Rhodes. So Dustin Rhodes didn't really...
Because we didn't watch that match, did we?
No, but that was in the... I think they showed that before
parts
the
of
War
it,
Games.
The clips, yeah.
So then they have this... Well, then at a TV taping, Dustin Rhodes is in the ring, and Dusty Rhodes comes out and gives him another great promo.
Oh, yeah.
About walking behind. And agrees to team with Dustin against...
The handshake.
Yes. Well, not a handshake. We should see it with a hug and a kiss.
That's right.
So, because at least Dusty won't turn on Dustin.
Right, that'd be very low. Be a different storyline altogether.
So what did you think about the Clash match first?
It devolved pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's...
like immediately.
Yeah.
And then Haku shows up
yes,
for some reason.
The Monster
Ming. Okay. He breaks a chair, like a very flimsy chair over his head, and Haku, or Ming, whatever, doesn't even flinch.
Right. So Ming is Colonel Robert Parker's bodyguard.
That's right, of course.
In his all-black attire.
Yeah.
And, the match
an easy quote-unquote costume, gimmick to do. Get some sunglasses and some dark clothing.
Yeah. So it's more meant to already just build to the next match, which we'll get to in a minute. But
yeah.
So this is just, and it's a nice little fresh match. It was on TBS, did a huge rating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, also it was Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair.
Okay.
So, but the quarter hour was very high for this, also. I think.
Is that how often they measure ratings? Every 15 minutes. Okay.
So then, so that is setting up the War Games match, which is Dusty and Dustin and the Nasty Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Against Robert Parker, Terry Funk, Bunkhouse Buck, and Arn Anderson. And they only showed, like, the clips of it. I was trying to find the full thing. There's, like, a 10-minute thing where Dusty Rhodes goes to Nastyville.
Oh, yeah.
Goes in the bar to find the Nasty Boys.
Well, we watched clips of that.
Yeah, there's clips of it, but there's a full...
really?
10-minute promo, which is just ridiculous.
Okay.
It's like the same bar that the Masters of the Powerbomb are formed in, basically.
Gotcha.
All the skis. Unfortunately, no Cheatham appearance.
Okay, yeah. No one wears the shark fin on their back?
No.
I'm thinking about that promo.
And
that was awesome.
All of those written by Dusty Rhodes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, your time as a booker does not count for you or against you, whichever it might help.
I don't know. I think that adds to that first criteria of nuance. He definitely would take a story very far.
Yes.
Going to Nastyville. Nasty Boys, I don't really care for too much.
Yeah, they actually have some good matches. Like they kind of, as long as they're staying in their lane with just a brawling match, they're pretty good. It's like when they try to do technical tag team matches that they kind of fall apart. So what did you think about the War Games match, though, in general?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where Colonel Robert Parker wasn't supposed to fight. It's supposed to be Ming.
Right, yeah. They never really explained why that was changed.
I was just about to ask you why.
I don't know.
The ceiling was low again, though.
Yeah, I think they built the War Games in 1987.
They built it once, then we're going to talk. They couldn't add another row of
No. Frank Coleman almost got his neck broken. We don't care.
You think that would have been...
Figure it out, guys.
So yeah, for early War Games, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I like how they have the War Games, ring set up nowadays.
Yeah. It's
a lot better.
Easier to... No cage, yeah. No top.
Yeah, to navigate, yeah. Well, no, this is fine.
Yeah, I really like Dusty's Nasty Dream shirt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I tried finding that on eBay while we were watching it. Yeah. To no avail.
Yeah, unfortunately. Pretty.
You'd have to buy a tie-dye shirt and buy.
Yeah, you'd have. Yeah, I'm surprised Pro Wrestling Tees doesn't do that yet.
Well, you can make it a request.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess I lost my in with their box.
Yeah, you can't sell them boxes anymore.
No.
So yeah, and the match kind of just ends when they get Robert Parker,
yeah,
isolated, and Dusty puts the figure 4 on him, and the Nasty Boys just drop elbows on him repeatedly until he submits.
Yeah,
I think they were going with
Terry Funk is nothing but a low-life, watermelon thief, egg-sucking dog. And let me tell you something about Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson, my son, offered up his innocence, and you paid him back in scorn. The hell with you, Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson has never been nothing but a walk behinder. And when you walk behind and you're not a leader, then the view never changes, baby. The view never changes, baby. The view never changes.
All right, and we'll take a quick break right here.
All right.
We're going to take a quick break right here and just tell you about all the great things on the Place to Be Nation. Make sure to check out the PTB Wrestling Network store and show off your favorite podcast logo and great merchandise like t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Just go to www.tpublic and type PTBW in the search.
The premiere episode of Making Mount Rushmore, the Wrestling Edition, has a panel of experts discuss the Mount Rushmore of greatest WrestleMania matches, as well as best as night after Raw moments.
It was a Thing on TV is back on the wrestling feed with their second wrestling episode with a look at WrestleMania 2. Join Greg, Chico, and Mike as they discuss the color commentary of Susan St. James and the boxing judging of G. Gordon Liddy.
Nate Milton and the Chain Reaction crew are back to discuss the biggest WWE show of 2021, WrestleMania 37.
Extreme Resurrection continues on with James and Mike discussing the WWE debut of CM Punk as well as the returns of Kurt Angle and Rob Van Dam.
Wrestling's Chicken Salad has Ben Locke, Logan Crossland, and Jacob Williams breaking down and reviewing WrestleMania 27.
Please rate, review, and subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Just search Place to Be Wrestling Network.
Check out the other feed on our quad of pods.
The PTB Pop Experience is all about pop culture. We have the best in TV, movies, comics, trivia shows, and so much more.
Jennifer Smith is always in the Jenny position with her unique take on pop culture and life. Her feed is loaded with great shows ranging from movies, books, Marvel, and more.
Join JT Rosero, Aaron George, and Chad Campbell for great shows on wrestling, comics, and more with the North-South Connection feed. Also, check out the histories of WWE, TNA, and other great wrestling topics and takes.
Also, Glenn and Scott Butler are continuing their spectacular journey through music, films, and more on the Non-Toxic Fanboy podcast, where they try to enjoy the things they love. Find them at Non-Toxic Fanboys on Twitter, nontoxicfanboys.com, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Make sure to join the rejuvenated Place to Be discussion group on Facebook. Go to Facebook, look up Place to Be, and request an invite. Discussions and fun with wrestling, movies, tournaments, and all forms of pop culture.
Our 2021 stretch project is determining the greatest NWA/WCW wrestler of all time. Go to facebook.com/GWCW and join the group to discuss nominees.
Be sure to check out PlacetoBeNation.com on each and every day. We have new voices and fresh takes bringing you articles on topics in the world of wrestling, sports, and pop culture, including Trent's SmackDown on Fox report, Paulie's perspective, and Matt's Disney live-action journey.
And if you're doing some online shopping on Amazon, be sure to click on the banner on the right side of the Place to Be Nation homepage or use www.placetobenation.com/Amazon. And it takes you right to Amazon and helps out PTBN with no cost to you.
And while you're there, make sure to pick up a copy of longtime listener Adrian Cotton's second book, AWO Big Time Players, Episode 2, Continuing to Grow. It's a vivid description of the second episode of the Alpha Wrestling Organization's program, Big Time Players, and it's available on ebook and a paperback. Yeah.
So they're starting to kind of let anything go, pull out of stops. So this is Dusty and Dustin versus Ric Flair and Jeff Jarrett. And someone made the comment first that Jeff Jarrett, that whoever won.
Yeah, I forgot who in the build-up exactly said
I thought it was Jeff Jarrett.
He might have been the first guy to say it. Yeah, so it was a Kiss My Ass match.
Oh, is it that it has a name?
Yes.
Isn't that the first? Well, that's the first Kiss My Ass match we've watched, right?
Yeah, because none of them are really
that good. Yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, it's just silly. So obviously, like I said, even as we were watching the match, I'm like, here's what's going to happen.
Yes, it's very formulaic.
Yeah. Well, although to be fair, I did not think that Dusty Rhodes was going to come out with an actual donkey the next day. So that one I did not foresee that one.
So this was just kind of to give you like the three eras of Dusty in WCW.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, if we were going to watch his best matches, they would all be early 80s.
Right. That's a good point.
And yeah, here, I mean, he's 55 and just barely, I mean, if you, not really wrestling even.
No, I mean, Ric Flair and Jeff Jarrett really have to sell it.
Yeah, they're just bumping all over the place.
They're just like, yeah.
I don't think they even get really any offense at it. Like, Dustin's the guy who comes in and gets worked over.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it's just a fun little match. And like, by this point, yeah, WCW was, well, originally in like January of 2001, Eric Bischoff was like the head of a was being financed by another company that was going to buy out WCW. And then like, I think 2 weeks before this pay-per-view, so he didn't really take over. He was going to take over like at the end of March, but he was kind of already making sure that plans were going how he wanted them to.
Gotcha.
So then, like, 2 weeks before this pay-per-view, it was decided that the part of the deal where you'd still have 2 hours of Nitro, 2 hours of Thunder every week wasn't part of the deal, and there'd be no wrestling.
What's Thunder?
It was their B show.
Gotcha.
Like their SmackDown.
Okay. Thunder.
Yeah.
All right.
It was decided that one wasn't going to be on TNT, TBS anymore, and there was going to be no wrestling on the Turner networks.
Oh.
So that killed the deal pretty much.
Yep.
And instead of selling for $70 million, they sold $2 million to Vince McMahon.
Oh.
But the main thing was, like, the airtime was gone, so Vince just bought it basically for the video library and
Gotcha.
made it up in one Ric Flair DVD sale.
Oh, easily. Yeah. That's a bargain basement for him.
Yeah. So I will say the fans that are actually at the show are the diehard WCW fans.
That's true.
So they probably, getting to see Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair one more time, it's kind of like a nice nostalgia thing. And it's fine for what it is. It's not, you don't expect it to be a great 1980s style tag match.
Right.
You expect, Jeff Jarrett and Ric Flair to be stooging all over the place for Dusty Rhodes' elbows.
That's what they were doing.
Yep. And then the next night, as you said, Dusty brings his well, because we have to say,
I'm sure everyone listening to this knows, but the first one, Ric Flair refused to kiss his butt. So he, put Jeff Jarrett in a corner and, didn't really kiss. Just kind of rubbed his butt on his cheek.
It's called the stink face.
Oh, okay.
More famous by Rikishi, who was wearing the thong. Dusty just does it with his red underwear.
But he doesn't even really, put his butt crack in his face. Just kind of puts it to the side.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't get to see Dusty Rhodes' ass
Well,
crack.
it's different than Rikishi. Well, Rikishi does it he really goes for it.
Right, yeah.
This is kind of half-assed, no pun intended, so to speak. So.
But by the next night, it's full ass.
It is,
Bring out the donkey. I forgot the name, do you?
Oh, shoot. No, I forgot the name. He definitely said what it is.
Silver like Willie that. Or something like that.
Yeah, Silver Willow or something.
Yeah, so and they get in a little tussle, but eventually both Ric Flair and Jeff Jarrett get shoved into the donkey's ass.
Yeah.
Well, not really his ass. They kiss the donkey, which I guess is kissing the ass.
Right, exactly. See, that's why it's funny.
Yes, that's why it works so well.
I guess do donkeys not kick? Some farmer was
that thing was
probably drugged out of his mind.
Yeah,
it was very docile.
Yeah. All right, so
what's the criteria again?
Yeah, so nuance, which is longevity, flexibility, and intangibles.
Okay.
Jump up factor, which is memorable peak matches, moments, and storylines. And then promo skills and character work, and then work rate. So, let me start.
Yeah, start a new tab on your spreadsheet here.
JPW.
No. All right. Bear with us. We get our official spreadsheet set up.
All right. So Dusty Rhodes, nuance. Where would you put?
What did you say? It's sorry.
Longevity, flexibility, and intangibles. And I should note, this only wrestling and or managing career counts. This includes tags and other roles while a main performer. This does not include commentary for candidates such as Dusty Rhodes. So you can't count all the greats. She stopped off to get some relief. That would not help or hurt Dusty Rhodes.
Gotcha. That is not being considered.
I think that was added in the WWE one to. It was like the Bobby Heenan rule.
Gotcha. So you can't. So Bobby Heenan's not going to be the greatest WWE wrestler or character.
No, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I'm going to go out of order. So work rate, I'm going to say like 3.
Okay.
Because that's not really his strong suit at all. Just fine.
I would agree. I'm going to give him a 4 just because some of the earlier 80s
based
stuff.
on the sampling that I was shown.
That's all you're expected to rule on.
And then P was...
That's promos and promo skills and character work.
Okay, well, he's very good at... Well, he's good at promos for sure, but like, other than like, does he ever play a heel? He's kind of seems to be always the same character.
Yeah, well, that's kind of...
So I don't know.
I would kind of ding him on that more than the nuance.
Right, that's how you read them. Yeah.
The promo and character work, I think, is just like how well he's able to do everything outside of the ring.
Okay.
Is how I interpret it, at least.
Okay, I'll give him a 7 for that then.
Okay. I'm going to give him a 9.
I think I'm a stingier grader than you.
It might be.
So jump up. He did get great reactions.
Yes.
Like everyone went nuts all the time.
Yes.
So, okay. I'll give him an 8 on that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say 8 also, just because like he's part of plenty of big stuff, like STARRCADE main events, the War Games match, which I had as my 3rd greatest match ever.
Oh, really?
And he's pretty integral in that.
Yeah.
That is that, and then the 94 War Games match are the only 2 Dusty Rhodes matches, though, that I rank. So that's why his work rate is pretty low.
Gotcha. Okay, so kind of working back to nuance. So
if
you're saying nuance, if a component of that is flexibility, then yeah, he really only plays his one character, which in my mind is like a caricature of himself.
Right.
So, but he does have... he does it well.
Right, yeah, that's kind of the thing.
I guess it's the performance, though. That should be the P. And he has the classic Hard Times promo. I think I'm going to give that a 7.
Okay, yeah.
Or were you going to do it?
Yeah, I'll go 7 also. I think that's fair. So, your Q would be 15, 20, 25?
Just make it a formula.
Huh?
Just make it a formula.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Hit the equal sign. So just like in Excel. And then you drag.
Oh, this is way too
come
calculated.
On. And then you just drag it across like that.
I could have just added those.
That's what I'm doing, is adding them. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but it's 28.
Okay. Well, then if you change any, the sum will automatically update.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Quick
so,
Google Sheets lesson.
You're at 25 for Dusty Rhodes. I'm at 28.
Yep.
And I think that's... I mean, no one's going to score 40. Even
that's a
Ric
good point.
Flair.
Yeah.
So 28 is very good for Dusty Rhodes, and I think it's a good benchmark to pass.
Yeah, those people have the high work rate, but not lower in other categories.
Right,
too.
yeah. Not a lot of people are. Like, promos, I'm almost thinking 10, just to set the bar as, like, no one's going to pass him.
Right.
So, if 9 is what I'm giving him for promos, there's only 1 or 2 people that are going to come close to that, I think.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right. So, next, we'll be looking at a completely different wrestler.
Okay.
Brian Pillman.
Oh.
Brian Pillman.
Okay.
And nuance for him is very interesting because he comes in as like the pretty boy, high flyer, does that for a while.
His son and Steve.
Then he teams with Stunning Steve and becomes the Hollywood Blondes. And then he kind of flounders around for a while, and then he becomes the loose cannon, where he's like a crazy man.
Okay, so we'll see a sampling of that.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Interesting.
And that's where it's kind of easier to pick matches from all the different times.
Different faces.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So that's all for tonight. Anything else to add?
Nope, I'm good.
Right. We will see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.
Amen.